All right, we'll do it live. Come into the room, come into the room, come into the room, come into the room. Coming with a mop, leave with the broom. Used to fuck with Skype, now we fuck with Zoom. Come into the room, come into the room. All right, welcome, welcome, welcome. Class is in session. Welcome to DanieSteel. I am DanieSteel. This is the home of the Purple Print series. If you're interested in leveling up and getting with a partner that is leveled up, check out that series. It has videos that will help you make viable choices and find solutions to a lot of problems that probably hindered you in your journey to leveling up and or finding a great partner, right? So definitely check that series out. Again, I'm DanieSteel. Welcome. If you miss a live, make sure you go back and check out the previous lives because I move on, okay? I don't keep saying the same stuff over and over again, and I might be talking about something that we touched on in a previous live that you might not be sure about. Go back to the previous lives. We're talking about the issues. We're talking about solutions. And then we're moving on so that we can continue in our journey of healing. Okay, so I've been hearing a lot of people talk about this, and I'm not one to go back and forth with the Twitter fingers. Don't come over here with the attitude. I'm telling you now, don't come over here with an attitude. I'm not your mama. All right? She'll deal with your attitude. I'm not dealing with your attitude. I'm gonna be very clear about that. If you come here with an attitude when I'm talking about stuff, when I'm going out of my way to help people out, you're gonna be blocked. You're gonna be removed. So it is what it is. I don't have patience. Let me be clear with that. I don't have patience. All right? This is a touchy subject for a lot of people. I get that. That's why I want to discuss it in a way that doesn't sensationalize it and polarize it further. But really, let's break it down and look into these issues. Have a little conversation. I can't stay on for long. So if you got some friends, tell them to come ping them into the room. Ping them into the room. Okay? Because I think this is an important topic. And I'm not going to be talking forever about it. So this is pretty much it for me talking about this topic. So let's get to it. All right. The title of the video is, can you wash your hair under a lace unit? I've seen a lot of people talking about this on Twitter. A lot of cap around the subject. Very bizarre. Before I get into the title of the video, let's get into the picture. Let's get into the thumbnail. What in the is going on, right? You got this toddler. She's wearing a full frontal lace unit. They use Gorilla Glue for the edges. What in the is going on? Why would you do this to a 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? Why would you do this? Why? That's, for me, I think it's something of, Sun Goddess Ari's in the room. Hello, Sun Goddess Ari. Welcome. Hey. Welcome. Thank you for joining. So you got this baby in a wig, right? I mean, it's a baby in a wig. And, you're probably asking yourself, what if she has alopecia? Baby could have alopecia. That baby ain't got no alopecia, right? Which is something that is more of an onset that takes place later on in life, right? That baby don't have alopecia, okay? even if the baby had alopecia, wouldn't you want to prepare your child for a life where they understood what they had and loved themselves, loved the way that they looked regardless? Wouldn't you want that for your child? And not just to throw some wig on them? I absolutely agree. Even later, I would never perm my child's hair because my hair was permed when I was younger and it was too much. It was too much. It damaged our hair, dealing with those perms. And when the natural hair care movement came out, I was excited to join on board with that because I was really tired of hairdressers burning my scalp, for these perms, Yes, I love the braids with the beads. I love it. I absolutely love that look. And I think that's the best, most adorable look that young little girls can have. I really do. Even, Serena and Venus were wearing the braids with the beads well into their teens. And I thought it was a great look for them, Nowadays, the teens, they're on to bigger and better things, I guess. But, they put the baby in a wig. La. They put the baby in a wig. Let kids be kids. Why would you put a baby in a wig? These are the same people that, as I've talked to you guys about before on this channel, right? The women that dress their toddler sons up to look like the men that they wanted to stay, right? With the 5 chains and the Timbs and the baggy shorts. Put that little boy in a bow tie and let him be a kid. Let him be a baby. Stop putting a mixtape in his hand when it's time for him to go to the playground. Put a ball, all right? Put a little ball in his hand and let him play, right? And I got to be honest. I think putting a baby in a wig has a lot to do with not caring enough to learn how to take care of the hair, take care of your hair. Baby's hair shouldn't be too difficult to maintain. But people don't want to learn how to take care of their own hair. Next thing you know, they don't know how to take care of their kids' hair. So it's a lack of education into how to properly maintain your own hair, combined with the idolization of the Eurocentric beauty standard, right? I think those are things that are at play when you decide to glue a wig to a toddler, okay? But let's get further into the topic of the video. Lace fronts on children is deplorable. It's deplorable. It's deplorable. It's very disturbing. Somebody says CPS. Okay. Don't let me see a 2-3-year-old with a lace front on, baby. All right. CPS. Right? But you know what? Now I'm gonna play the devil's advocate because that's what I'm here for. What about when people lock their children's hair? I personally think it's beautiful. But again, I told you guys the story of a little black girl who was adopted by white people that I babysat for. Her brother's hair locked up because the white people didn't know how to do it. So his hair just literally grew and locked up. They wouldn't even send him to get his hair cut. And the little girl was crying and saying she didn't want her hair to lock up the way her brother's hair had locked up, right? And then we saw the little black girl who was crying. It looked like her hair might have been in locks. Remember that little black girl, that adorable little black girl who was at the beauty salon, who said she didn't like her hair, didn't like the way she looked, right? Now, I've seen a lot of little boys with locks that loved it. But I've often seen when the little girls have locks that they feel sad about that. And it makes them feel different and ostracized. And it makes them feel, less attractive than the kids around them. I've seen that firsthand. So people would argue that you shouldn't even lock a child's hair, right? I mean, especially if you're looking at in terms of American society, right? That is pretty abusive because those chemicals are bad for adults, let alone children. Absolutely. People are defending this, right? People are defending the constant use of gluing these frontals to your head. And that's what we're going to get into. The can you wash your hair under a lace unit? People are defending constantly wearing a lace unit that you'd have to glue down, right? They're like, well, it's not on the scalp. It's not on the hairline. Yeah, it's literally on your forehead. How is that normal? How is that good for your skin? How is it good for your skin? Because keep in mind, you're supposed to be taking care of yourself. So how is that good for your skin? Exactly. Let the child make the decision when they're older. Don't force this beauty standard you have, whatever it is, onto the child. I absolutely agree with that. I mean, taking care of their hair, make them look cute. But if they start having a say, listen to your child. It's their head, right? Of course, some parents will dye their kid's hair blue because the kid wanted it. If your kid's in private school, they probably can't have their hair dyed blue. So there's laws and limits to everything, right? But within the way that your family lives, listen to the children, and let them have a say in what they look like, regardless of how you feel about hair, right? Because that's what I'm seeing a lot of with these parents, including whoever glued this wig onto this little girl in the picture here, right? So let me see if I can find the video and play it for you guys on the situation when it comes to if you can wash your own hair under a lace wig that is glued to your head, okay? Let's see. I don't know if I'll be able to find it again, honestly. So there's a TikTok of a young Black girl who's saying that she wanted to test a glue that someone else had suggested or used to glue her wig to her head, right? And the girl tries to do this as well, and she says, you know what, it works, and my lace unit has been on my head now for 30 days. That's what she said. She says so far it's lasted 30 days, right? So I can't find that audio for you guys. So there began a conversation, right? The conversation being, is it healthy to wear a lace front wig on your head for 30 days? Right? And you had a lot of the girl's supporters saying, well, she did it as an experiment to see how long this glue would last. And so far it's lasted 30 days. You know who else did a little experiment like that? You know who else did a little experiment like that? Gorilla Glue Girl. She wanted to play games and see how long sticky stuff would last, right? Play around. It could last a lot longer than you want it to last, right? You got to keep that in mind. When people are saying, oh, well, let people do whatever they want. Okay, but then you come to the general public and you want to go fund me and you want donations and now you need help and you need attention. Whereas if you listened before, you wouldn't have, your hair glued in place, right? So all right, I found the video. So I'm going to play this video for you guys. Hold on. Okay. I'm going to play the video for you guys. It's a TikTok, like I said. So here's the video.
I want to try lace glue and see how long it will take for my wig to start lifting up. It's been a whole month now.
Okay, so I mean, these women talk very, very light. Okay. The girl said, look at my lace, right? It was stuck to her head. And then another girl said, I tried this lace glue and I wanted to see how long it would last for my wig on my head. And it's been a whole month now, right? And the response to this was, this is not a healthy, physical, emotionally, this is not healthy physically, emotionally, or psychologically, right? It's just not healthy to have a wig glued to your head for 30 days, right? The response was, it's not healthy physically, emotionally, or psychologically. Like, why do you need fake hair glued onto your head for 30 days straight? Right? And again, the supporters of this beautiful girl, by the way, who experimented with this glue, right? Her supporters were saying, look, she's doing an experiment. She wants to see how long it will last. Stop policing Black women's hair. Stop telling Black women what to do. Right? But the detractors have a lot of good points as well, right? So a lot of the supporters are saying things like, what's the difference between wearing box braids for 30 days and wearing a lace front glued to your head that you cannot take off for 30 days? What is the difference? It's like, are you even Black if you're asking that question? Are you even Black if you're asking that question? But what I've seen in the discourse on this conversation is it's a lot of Black people that are not educated on how to take care of their hair. And with the plethora of knowledge that's out there at this point, I don't feel bad for nobody. At this point, I only feel bad for the kids. I only feel bad for that little toddler with the lace front glued on her head right now. Okay? Not the adults. Because it's too much. I think a lot of it is because parents don't want to put in the work to maintain the hair. It happened to me as I started getting perms at 6 and got third-degree burns by the time I was 12. Thank you, Melinda Sadler. So good to see you. And you know what? The same thing happened to me when I was younger. Same thing happened to me, and not just when I was younger. Up until my early 20s, before the natural, took over, right? Before the natural movement took over, I was getting perms and doing what I thought I was supposed to do as a Black woman for my hair, and they was still burning you. People didn't know how to even apply these perms properly. These disgusting chemicals. I never did watch Chris Rock's Good Hair. Was it Good Hair or Bad Hair? Hair Day. I don't know what the name of the movie is. I never watched it because people were saying it's not, it doesn't flatter Black women. And it's just a way of making fun of Black women. And I had already started educating myself on taking care of my hair. So I knew from the self-educating that the perms were bad. Obviously, the natural hair movement started, and that's why I stopped. But, these perms have a lot of chemicals. And all for what? A beauty aesthetic? I will never get perms again. I will never wear a perm again. For what? You better love my hair if you love me. You better love my hair if you love me. You're going to have to. And my husband loves my hair. He loves it. He says, like, it's so small. It's so soft. He like grabs it all the time. Oh my gosh, you have so much hair, babe. And he like grabs it. It smells like mint. It smells like a candy cane. Like he has the time of his life playing around in my hair. Okay. But a lot of y'all out here trying to get with dudes that hate y'all hair because the hair reminds them of the hair that's on their own head, and they hate that hair. And that's why you got to wear these extreme wig units, you know, but then they try to place it back on you and call it self-hate. Well, which is it? Is it self-hate or is it outward hate? That's why I asked the question in the poll, and take the time to answer the poll if you can. That's why I asked the question in the poll. Is it self-hate or is it outward hate? Well, see, this is what a lot of Black people don't understand. It's both. Black people have internalized the hate they've received, the hate that's been given to them. They've internalized it. That was on purpose. It was set up for y'all to internalize, and you did. And most Black folk did, right? And that's why we find ourselves having these conversations. There's a lot of anti-Blackness centered around 1A. We call it 1A over here, but for the purpose of the conversation, sure, I'll call it 4C. But like, why are you calling your hair 4? Your hair's 4? And whose hair is 1A? Whose hair is 1A? Because whoever's hair is 1A, they're not talking about 1A hair. But y'all talking about, well, and I know it was a hairstylist that made this scale. It was a Black male hairstylist, last I checked. Last I researched. It's 1A. It's 1A hair. It's top tier, baby. It's top tier. It don't get no better. It really don't. Especially when, that shrinkage. I love the shrinkage, the ultimate shrinkage. When you're bouncing that hair and those bouncy, the way it just boing. I love that boing, and just like playing with my hair and like pulling on it, which is what I'm doing right now. In my little twists, and yeah, I love it. Right. And it's time we start loving. It's time we start loving it. It's 1A. It's top tier. It's top tier hair, guys. In case you didn't know. So 4C is when there's no life, there's no luster. Okay. That's 4C. 1A, top tier. But I'll refer to it in terms of 4C for the conversation, but understand it's 1A over here. Okay? So there's a lot of anti-Blackness centered around the 4A hairstyle, right? There's a lot of misogyny. There's a lot of anti-Blackness. Not just from the outside, not just coming from the outside, but also coming from within the community, within the collective. Okay? And we know this, we see this with the conversations that we constantly are having here about featureism and texturism, right? They can poo-poo it all they want, but as it starts to affect them more, as their biracial sons begin to replace their image and what America accepts as Black men becomes biracial men. Biracial Black men. We'll get into that. Don't come over here. Biracial, you can't be biracial, you can't be Black. Don't come over here with an attitude. We're having a conversation. You're not the only person that exists. I'm fine with someone saying that I'm a biracial Black person. I'm fine with that. If you don't like it, tough. Because they're probably still going to say it. And I think at the end of the day, They're not saying that they're Black. They're saying, I'm biracial. My culture is Black. Okay? That's what I see some people doing. Look, most of them will still just call themselves Black. But you're mad at the ones that are calling themselves biracial Black? When most biracial people will still call themselves Black. You have to understand that. I've always called biracial people biracial over here in the context of them being biracial with the Black race. Okay? There are biracial people who are indigenous and Asian. An indigenous and Asian person doesn't have to say, I'm biracial, and then a Black and a white person says, I'm biracial. They can add more identity to that if they want. Okay? They can say, I'm biracial indigenous, right? My one of my parents is white, but I live with my indigenous parents in an indigenous culture. Right? So chill out. A lot of people get really hyped about that, and they all got Abbies. Calm that down. Abbies go the hardest, and I'm not here for it at all. At all. You can't even show your face, so keep your mouth shut. And I'm not talking to my Steelies, obviously. I'm talking to trolls. Okay? So, let's talk about the hatred and the pressure from outside of the Black collective that would lead to Black women feeling the need to assimilate into the dominant culture. One of the most well-known instances of America policing Black women's hair takes place hundreds of years ago. Okay? The Teon laws. And if you're not aware of what the Teon laws are, that's why class is in session. I'm here to help educate you on that. Okay, because you have to understand that there has been external pressure in America for Black women to assimilate, for Black women to hide their beauty, for Black women to hide and mellow out their features, for Black women to dull their shine so that everybody else can be comfortable, so that everybody else can be happy. Understand, Black women, this does not just happen within your community. That's why it's so funny that you think you could go and run somewhere else. He lives in you. I keep telling y'all that. He lives in me. It lives within you, all right? It lives in you. It lives in you, baby. There's no savior out there because they jealous, okay? They jealous. There's a lot of haters. And if you are a beautiful woman that loves yourself, understand that you're not going to have a lot of support out there because people want to destroy what they can't have. People want to destroy something if they can't be it. All right? The Teon laws were passed in 1786 by Governor Esteban Rodriguez Miro and aimed to prohibit Creole women of color from displaying excessive attention to dress in the streets of New Orleans, or New Orleans, whatever you want. All right? The law stipulated that they must wear a teon, which is a type of head covering, or scarf to cover up their hair. Okay? Understand something. Most of these Creole women had Black mothers who didn't have the freedom to move about and express themselves that the Creole women had. And so they showed their daughters and their granddaughters and their nieces. They showed them how to adorn their hair beautifully and the styles and customs of their traditions. And they were flexing. Do you understand? They were flexing in the streets of New Orleans. Okay? They were representing. Their hair was beautiful, right? They were able to do something. Why didn't the non-Black women, right? Why didn't white women, why didn't they wear their hair in this way? It's not their culture. And their hair texture literally couldn't do the designs and things that a lot of these Creole women's hair designs could do. Period. Because of their African ancestry and heritage, these women were able to do this, adorn their hair beautifully. Okay? And Brad came a-running. Okay? And that wasn't fair. It just wasn't fair. Right? So these women that were jealous complained and complained. And next thing you know, the governor is passing a law that now you colored women, you Creole women, must cover your hair up. Cover it up. We don't want to see it. That was all the way back in 1786. I talk a lot on this channel about post-traumatic slave syndrome. This country completely understands how trauma impacts generations. They deliberately pretend that that's not an issue when it comes to oppression in Black peoples and their families and the generations of oppression that have impacted their families. They like to pretend like that's not an issue, but they know it's an issue. They know it's an issue with any other group of peoples and all the different types of traumas. They recognize trauma. So don't let the fact that they don't want to recognize post-traumatic slave syndrome fool you. What do you think that does to a people, generation after generation, having their hair policed, having people be able to say, throw them in jail because their hair doesn't look the way we demand it to. Deny them a job, deny them education. It happens to this day. To this day, they're cutting locks out of little Black kids' hair before they'll let them play in a sports game. To this day, they're making fun of little Black girls in class because their hair smells like coconut oil. They're ostracizing little Black girls for their hairstyles to this day. So the outside hate at this point literally lives in our DNA. The understanding that these people don't like our hair. In case you didn't know already. The effects of the Tion laws are still seen today. And see what happened when they pulled that, right? Is that the Creole and Black women said, okay, we got something for you. Since you don't like our hair. Then they started wearing elaborate head wraps and headdresses, right? And to this day, we stunt on them with the head wraps and the headdresses. Understand that if you're a Black in America, if you are successful here, it is not because they're willing it to be that way. And I don't care what nobody say. It is what it is. You have to understand where you're living and what's going on. Okay? The country was established on anti-Blackness. And it is one of the only appeals. It is one of the only reason other people find this place appealing as opposed to their own oppressive countries, right? Because of the obvious anti-Black standard. Everyone knows you can come over to America and you can treat the native Black population, you can benefit from their oppression because they've been placed in a permanent underclass. Everybody knows that. So I don't know why y'all think that doesn't affect hair and how you are able to wear your hair and what you do with your hair. It does. Okay? So we love to pretend like assimilation isn't something that we still have to do today. Like, oh, well, we've been here. That doesn't matter because here is anti-Black. So we always have to grind harder. We always have to adhere to some antiquated, draconian rule based in anti-Blackness and misogynoir. Always. And you'll have to do that until you build up something else for yourself. What you've built up here so far has gotten you that. People want to act like the work is done. The work wasn't done, period. So there is a lot of outside pressure on Black women to assimilate their hair, their hairstyles, to not stand out, to not intimidate people with their large afros, right? There's a lot of pressure on Black women that this be adhered to. Let's not pretend. Black men wore full suits until the 60s. If they were in public, they wore a full suit. My granddaddy, I was just telling my husband a story about my great-grandfather. When he would come over to my grandma's house, I told y'all, and be in my grandma pots and pans. She's like, get out of my pots and pans. Whenever he came over, he was in a full suit. My great-granddaddy. Born 1920, South Carolina, right? Black men were perming their hair before Black women were. Fuh? You saw how silky their hair used to be when they was wearing them suits? Fuh? They wear the stocking cap, or do-rag, right? To manipulate their hair texture so that it does not look like their hair texture. They've done this for decades. No one ever has broken that down and dissected it and asked why and said it was self-hate. Is it self-hate? Or does it make their life a little easier? But that's not something that Black women are allowed to have, something that make your life a little easier. And if you don't assimilate, what is the cost? What is the price? We already know this. Classism. Other Black people will make fun of you for how you look. You're not going to get the job. Poverty. You could end up in poverty thinking it's a game, not assimilating in this country. And that's why a lot of people, a lot of smart people who don't want to have to assimilate, who want to just be themselves, they go to other countries where Black people are allowed to be themselves because typically Black people are the majority, right? But you're in a country where you are not the majority. And everyone knows, everywhere you go, the majority rules, typically. There's other places where that's not true. Especially when whiteness and colonialism and imperialism come into play. But generally, wherever you go, majority rules. And there's never been any anti-Black laws established in this country. so that people know you can't discriminate against Black people. You can't discriminate against Black women. And because that's never happened, y'all voted for Kamala. She didn't bring that into play for y'all, though. She didn't make that happen for y'all so that people in this country understand, hey, you're not to mess with Black people. You're not to be discriminatory towards them. You can like and dislike whoever you want, but you're not to be discriminatory. There's no laws in this country that tell anyone that they're not to be discriminatory towards Black people. And I don't care what the laws that are out there that they tell you also apply to you. So, you know, people love to say that Black Americans are privileged, and a lot are, but not most. Not most. The country runs on anti-Blackness. Who do you think is paying the price for that? The people who've been here generation after generation, enduring it. Their DNA literally altered by the hate that most people don't understand. They haven't even been here long enough to understand how that feels to be in your native country. Because if you rob people of their country and their culture and they don't know where they came from, then wouldn't it make sense that the native country is the place that they were stolen to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago? You rob people. Literally kidnapping African people over here. I've talked about before on this channel. Most women, it doesn't matter if they're Asian, African, South American, most women who live in cultures where they grow their hair waist length or longer, where it is tradition for the women to grow their hair waist length or longer, these women live in cultures where the women help each other out. Not where you can go to Style Seat and be told 500 things that you better do by some unqualified, non-licensed beautician who won't put her baby daddy on child support, but got a list of rules for what you better do when you sit in her chair, right? That's not the communities that these women live in. They live in communities where their sisters, their mothers, their aunts, their cousins, they live together. They share culture, they share language, they share an understanding of the beauty of their hair. And they work together, all of the women, to help maintain each other's hair. We don't live in that culture. We live in a culture, every man for himself. And too bad you wasn't born with pretty hair. Too bad. Nothing you can do. Because everybody hates themselves. Everybody hates the glory of the 1A hair because they were told to and then they listened and they did it. So now, celebrating your hair is arduous. It's arduous. And an anti-Black, misogynoir, colorist, texturism, featurism-based society, that's almost impossible. Who else is celebrating your hair? Who else is celebrating your hair? You be celebrating your hair. You'll be celebrating it by yourself. Guess what? I learned how to celebrate my hair by myself. But a lot of people aren't willing to do that work. They want outside validation. And that is a normal human response. I told y'all before about Star Puppy. All right, Danielle over on Star Puppy. She really helped me to start just loving my hair. You know, I'm like, this is a black girl that looks like me, that has hair very similar to mine. And she loves it. And she plays in it. I need to start doing that more. And so I did. And like I said, I haven't seen you guys in a while, but I literally have probably worn a wig twice in the past 3 months, right? And that's not because I have anything against wigs. I like wigs. I'll wear them again. I'll do what I want. I'll do as I please. I'm a grown adult. Nobody pays my bills except for my man. So I'll do as I please. But always wearing my hair in a protective style, which I always wear it in twists. And I would rarely just wear it out, because when I would wear it out, it would kink up and it would, it lock up because of the shrinkage, right? Because of the shrinkage, I would get a lot of knots. And I'm trying to get to waist length, and I'm trying to, grow and maintain healthy hair. The best way for you to maintain long, healthy hair is to learn how to do your own hair. I played with Style Seat enough. It was probably like 3 years ago that I was like, never again. Never again. I'm working hard to maintain my natural hair as it is, wearing these wigs for protective styling. Then when I go to want a different style, and I go to these Style Seat hairdressers, they yanking and pulling at your natural hair. They using little tiny combs to comb your natural hair. So what else should I do? What else should you do? You're a black hairstylist. You didn't know how to. I've already done all of the work. I've untangled the hair. All you have to do is not comb it over with a tiny, tiny tooth comb. You don't know how to do that? It's a lot that black women have to go through. And a lot of it has to do with the outward appearance of everything, right? We were talking about the Molly situation, right? With the little black girl with the adopted white family. And people are saying, oh, she looks unkept. They said she looked like a slave. Just really slow people. The girl was obviously well-fed. She was dressed fine. Nobody in the family was dressed stylish. Nobody in the family was styling. But it came back to, well, she doesn't have the coolest hairstyle in the world. So our hair isn't meant to be doing the coolest hairstyles in the world 24/7. Our hair, our natural hair, it ain't meant for all of that. I would love to wear braids more, but I'm not having somebody who don't care about their own hair with their hands in my hair, pulling and twisting at my hair so I can wear braids. I'm not doing it. They made fun of Jay-Z. He doesn't have my particular favorite style of locks. I prefer the Chloe Bailey locks. I like sister locks and micro locks, to be honest. But that's based in texturism. You think that man doesn't do his hair? Jay-Z, you think he doesn't do his hair? Like, of course he does his hair. Of course he puts energy and effort and money into his hair. And that's what his hair naturally, it looks like he's free locking. They look like free locks, right? Which free-form locks. That means he allowed them to naturally form and grow. It's the same thing J. Cole was doing. This is what 1A hair looks like when you allow it to naturally grow and you sit back and you don't do anything to it. That's what it looks like. But people are like, ew, ew. That's what it looks like. So that's based on adhering to beauty standards that aren't your own, because you've now internalized this idea, this notion that your hair isn't good enough, but everyone else's is. It was set up for it to be that way. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Again, people love to talk about how privileged Black Americans are, as if America doesn't oppress, as if America is the only country in the world that oppresses people outside of their country, but has no one oppressed within its borders. It's ignorant. It's ignorant. If someone's teaching you in college, if someone's teaching you this in college, go get your money back. You're not going to tell me, when I see my ancestors struggling, when I know how I grew up struggling, you're not going to tell me that every Black American is privileged just because the ones you look at are. It's not a privilege to be a minority group being oppressed by the majority in your own country. That's not a privilege. The mental illness and poverty here is disproportionate to almost any other Black population. Because, believe it or not, I think the people that perpetuate, and I've said this before, and I don't care, I'm saying it again. The people that perpetuate this narrative that America only oppresses people outside of its borders, it's a magical fairy tale place that doesn't oppress people within its borders. And it's a WS narrative, guys. You can't be Black and being proud to say that type of ish. I don't care if you feel privileged to be here. Great. I don't have to feel privileged to be somewhere my ancestors were dragged and kidnapped to. My ancestors' blood, sweat, tears in the soil. I don't have to feel privileged. Feel privileged that we here, but y'all can feel that privilege. I don't have to feel privileged about that. When we still fighting for basic rights, what are you talking about? To be constantly told that you're not good enough, that's not a privilege. And I want you to understand that when you are excited about being, in these PWI spaces a lot of times. Be aware that within you, they can see a greatness. The original people of this planet, that's what they see when they see you. And they want you gone. So you stop reminding them that they're not the original people of the planet. Understand that. I go outside and I jog every morning. I do a run. And, people just stare. One guy almost hit a kid. He was staring so hard. They stare out their houses. What they don't know is I live in a gated community where there's a lot of Asian people. A lot of Asian people. They don't leave the grounds of the gated community because that's the kind of stuff that you get. A bunch of YTs staring at you like you don't belong, right? You got to deal with that. But guess what? I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to hide. I'm going to love myself. I'm going to embrace who I am. That's what they don't want you to do, right? And, T.I.'s daughter spoke about this recently as well, right? So in her tweet, This is Deja Harris, right? She says, I hate to admit it, but I'm so sad that I have my dad's hair texture. Sad because it's so much to deal with and manage. Ugh. Sad because I feel like it just doesn't fit me, nor is this texture one that's appreciated or uplifted as much as other hair textures. Anytime I see someone with type 4 hair, I always compliment them because I know how it feels to genuinely not like your hair/texture. I never want anyone to feel like that. It looks so bomb on other people, but me, yeah, no. Right? And you know what? You had a lot of avatars coming out the woodworks, avatars, people who won't even show their real face/hair. Avatars coming out being like, you don't love yourself. You don't love yourself. If you loved yourself, we would see your face in our avatar. And my thing is, if you don't want to show yourself and you want to be an Avi, that's great. But who the hell are you, Avi, to tell other people how they better present? And it's the Avies, again, it's these crazy Avies that go the hardest about it. You're not even showing yourself. Hey, if you don't want to show your face, show your hair. Show us your natural hair. Take a picture of your natural hair. Since you all about that life. But what you're not going to do is come up and tell Black women who have the courage to present themselves in a society that don't want to see them half the time. I'll say half the time because the half I'm in, they do. But, you know, there's a lot of hate. And then Avies, fellow Black women hiding behind Avies, talking about something. Why y'all don't want to show y'all real hair? Oh, look at you. You don't want to show your real hair. You don't want to show your real face, sis. Let's start there. I've been trolled and treated very poorly for coming and showing myself. And it is what it is. I'm not going to hide from nobody. Fuck. You know? So a lot of people were coming at her and they were like, you hate yourself, right? I'll be honest. When I read it, I thought, damn, it sounded like somebody said her mom is biracial. She's biracial. So her mother is biracial. So she's 1/4 white, right? Ken, you want me to go upstairs? Okay. I'm going to have to wrap it up, guys, because my husband needs me to go. He's, his office is down here. We share an office, and what he's going to be doing and coming up is more important. So he's got a meeting, business to take care of. So I submit and acquiesce to my husband. Okay. Yeah, very true. I'm like, whoa. All right. I guess it's the future. Oh, thank you, Feminine Logic. You're so nice. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Some people were coming at her. And like I said, for me, when I heard it, and I heard her mother was biracial, and she's like 1/4 white, you know, I thought what a lot of people were saying. It sounds like this very light-skinned woman who gets a lot of privilege in the Black community, a lot of privilege in general in this country for, based on the colorism and her proximity to whiteness. It sounded like she laments this additional way that she can't seamlessly blend in to non-Blackness, right? And I thought, I guess her parents didn't do that kind of work with her so that she would love herself, as she is. She goes on to say, I genuinely compliment them because, again, growing up, I never heard any compliments or positive comments when it comes to my hair. And I mean, that's kind of crazy to me because I'm like, she has this totally different family, right? I think about my family. I think about how I grew up, never hearing compliments about my hair. never hearing compliments about my hair. You know, and I'm like, but I was a dark-skinned girl growing up in the hood. Right? Here she is, all the benefits of colorism, pretty privilege, classism, right? And still, she says, I mean, you gotta think about how much our hair is hated. Black hair, not black women's hair. For black guys that think they can glue stocking caps on their head and claim they love themselves. Black hair. Can't imagine how much it's despised. You know, T.I. wasn't rocking that natural he rocking now. He was cutting his hair within an inch of his life because they love to cut the hair short. Oh, edge up. Yeah, edge back it on up. They love to cut the hair short so they don't have to deal with their hair, right? She said, I was told that my hair was nappy or too thick and some more-ish. I know how that made me feel, so I make sure to uplift any and everyone, not just people with type 4 hair, right? To make sure that they never have to experience those feelings or even to just boost their confidence if they love and are comfortable with their hair already. It has nothing to do with me thinking they don't like it, but more so that I want to simply make sure they feel seen, appreciated, respected, and I want them to know that their hair is bomb. I never said anything was wrong with type 4 hair. I just said it's difficult for me, right? And so people are having a hard time believing, obviously, if you don't like the hair on your own head, how you like it on other people. But again, you know, I mean, is that self-hate? I mean, essentially. All right, I'm gonna move upstairs right now. My husband is kicking me out. And you know what? If I knew how to work my MacBook, I wouldn't be in the situation that I'm in. But I don't. So I'm still learning. Okay, so bear with me, guys. Give me a minute. I don't want to just, you know, cut y'all off. I want to finish this conversation, but I've got to move upstairs. All right. Give me a moment. Thank you. Thank you for your patience. Okay. Oh, no. Oh, no. Y'all gonna see. Oh, God. All right. Moving up. All right. Sorry, Kenny. I'm heading upstairs, guys. I can't stay downstairs because I talk too loud. I talk too loud. And yeah. All right. All right. Now we're upstairs. Thank you for your patience. Plug this bad boy in and continue our conversation. Okay. All right. We're back. Thank you for your patience. Appreciate you. So here's what I'm going to say about that, right? That oh, bye. My husband just came up and closed the bedroom door because I talk so loud. Anyways, now I'm stuck in the room with Pretty, one of my cats, okay? I feel like what Black people don't understand about how no one affirms 1A/4C hair, right? Nobody affirms this beautifully textured, beautifully coiled, versatile hair. That's been internalized, right? And essentially what happens is, in this society that we live in America, because that's where I'm living and that's where I'm speaking from, right? Black people are conditioned to react to blackness, and I put blackness in quotation marks, okay? Black people are conditioned to react and respond to blackness the same way non-Black people are conditioned to. So essentially, you are conditioned to believe in the myth of your own inferiority and someone else's superiority. Understand that. Like, you have to do work for that to not happen. A lot of people think that it should just happen naturally, but it doesn't work that way. There has to be work done to make sure that happens. And a lot of time what you see with Black people who have a little bit of knowledge of that, a lot of times what you see is them understanding that they need to, make sure that their kids can benefit from colorism, classism, right? The way they couldn't. That's what you see them do. Instead of, and I'm thinking of T.I., right? Instead of teaching their children love of themselves, they throw some money on it, right? They throw some glitter on it. You don't make it out unscathed from these surroundings. And that's no reason to sit around and feel sorry for yourself. A lot of time when I talk about these issues, people have this notion that I would ever dare feel sorry for myself. The reason that I'm chilling in a gated community with a tennis court and a pool and a private gym, after I grew up in foster care throughout the crack cocaine epidemic, with my degrees and my husband, the reason I'm doing that is because I manifested it in spite of the obstacles placed in front of me, because I didn't feel sorry for myself. And I don't expect anyone else to. But I'll be damned if I don't acknowledge the circumstances. You will not shame me out of acknowledging the given circumstances. You won't. It's not going to happen. So keep that in mind when you're on this journey. Now, back to some more reasons I think that Black women have an over-reliance on wigs, okay? And again, this is outside of using it as a means of protective styling, right? This is when it goes beyond that, okay? Like you're wearing it on your head for 30 days. But there's nothing protective about that. So if you were doing an experiment, this girl says, I'm doing an experiment. See how long the wig can stay on my head. Okay, well, how'd your skin fare with a wig glued to your forehead for 30 days? We're going to get to the title of the video, baby. Can you wash your natural hair under a wig? Because they are arguing about it on the social medias. They are arguing about it as if the answer isn't obvious. And to me, it's very disturbing. And again, I'm not going to go back and forth with no Twitter finger, bold keyboard warriors who think they know better because they've listened to a content creator on YouTube. It don't work that way. You got to do research. You got to do work. Male attention. All right. I think a lot of women around my color, the brown skin, dark skins, I think a lot of them wear wigs for male attention. Okay? Now, for example, I'm going to tell you guys why I think Saweetie and Doja Cat wear wigs. Okay? And I believe they wear these colorful wigs, one, because they're rappers. Okay? They're entertainers. And it's part of the industry. Two, I believe that similarly to what Halle Berry did when she was coming up, right? Because there was a time, even now, I think Halle Berry's hair is like shoulder length. She's even in the mid 2000s had it like down, like back length, right? Her hair. But when she was coming up in the industry in the 90s, right? Her hair was pixie short. Pixie short. Now, was that the style? Yeah, sure, right? It's a style. You know, Nia Long did it, and I think Nia Long looked the best in it. I also thought Angela Bassett looked really great with the short pixie cut, but I also love her with long hair. Halle Berry made it a staple because she's Halle Berry. She's an amazing, tremendously amazing actress, one of my favorite actresses. Look, she wore her hair short like a pixie cut because she's biracial. And her hair, and let me tell you something, there was a show on OWN where they had a biracial actress playing a light-skinned black woman, okay? And the first thing they told her to do on that show, I believe they canceled it, but it was a show based on a light-skinned black woman, and they cast a biracial woman to play her, okay? And Hollywood loves to do this. And after they do this, you know what they're going to tell the black woman? You need to cut your hair. Period. Because their hair, more than likely, will indicate to you, yes, there's Joy-El. I watched Joy-El. She's delightful, right? Joy-El looks a lot like her father, has a lot of her father's features. But one thing she got from her mama was her hair, right? Her hair is very 4C. If you guys don't know who Joy-El is, and go ahead and check her out. She's a biracial natural hair content creator. And one of the reasons I know about her and watch her is because she has 1A hair. 1A 4C hair. Okay. She has 1A 4C hair. Might be a 4B. Could be a 1B, 4B. Okay. I see a lot of 1B, 4B. It's arguable. But her hair is more closer to my hair texture than, like, I don't follow any other biracial natural hair person because their hair is not like my hair texture, period. I'm not going to watch someone whose hair is not my hair texture. I can't learn from you. What you're doing is for you, right? So, yeah, you know, there's Joy-El, right? But generally you have a lot of people like Halle Berry just has these kind of beautiful ringlets when she lets her natural hair grow out. And Zendaya also has a very loose curl pattern, right? So biracial women have generally a different texture. Generally, guys, okay? A different hair texture than black women. And so in Hollywood, they make them cut their hair short to play black women so that you're not preoccupied with the fact that they're clearly not black women because look at their hair, right? So obviously, we talk about, on this channel, I've addressed that men are often attracted to women of a different race than them. They find that exotical. Y'all let black men find white women exotical, so you need to let white men find black women exotical, because it is what it is. Okay? These dudes, look, I don't know how to tell y'all this, but these dudes are lying to y'all to pretend that they're not interested in white women because of their skin color. If you talk to a white woman that's slept with black guys, because, I mean, let's be honest, they don't usually get married. They will tell you that these men, because there's black women, you'll get black women that'll date a white guy and it won't work out. The white guy won't ask the black woman to marry them. So they're like, I hated my experience dating a white guy, right? And they'll be like, oh, this white guy, he said he loved the way our skin colors are so different. And do you understand that that's exactly what black men are telling white women? That's exactly what they're telling them. They're not going to tell y'all that. Because if they tell y'all that, then you would know that that's something that gets them off. And then y'all couldn't do this whole, because we both black-ish that people do. Because, again, y'all do we both black, and it's all based on colorism. It's very few get out of here, pretty. It's very few black couples being promoted that are same color. Okay. What's usually promoted, right, as this is the idea, this is what we want, is colorism. It's colorism-ish, right? So when you're a dark-skinned, brown-skinned black woman and living in a society that doesn't like you, and then within your own society, you're told that you're not good enough. There's other women that do black prettier than you. That's what they tell you about light-skinned and or biracial women, right? They're doing black, but they're doing it prettier than you. One of the ways that women try to get attention from these men who've already made it clear that they have their own self-hate issues is wearing those wigs. They wear the wigs. And this greatly helps. I've seen that. It greatly helps. I think that if they didn't wear the wigs and the lashes, they would have a harder time, appeasing these guys who are blatantly colorists, texturists, featurists, misogynoirs, etc. Right? Should I have a daughter, I will not be altering her hair. You know what? I absolutely agree with that. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Oh my God, whenever I saw a picture of that kid in the lace front, I screamed. I know. I've never heard of someone washing their natural hair while it's under a wig. Make that make sense, someone. Thank you, T. Move, pretty. Sounds like Pretty wants to chime in. Right. Get out of here, Pretty. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all know Pretty. She's a Becky. She's white. So she gets very jealous when I have attention, doesn't she? That's why I always go into my bedroom, and what do I see? Pretty curled up with my man. My man. Get off my bed, Pretty. Stop taking my spot in the bed, Pretty. The woman I got her from named her like Ashley. And I was like, what kind of name? I refuse to call a cat a human name. The fuck? I changed her name to Pretty so quick, and she instantly answered to it. Instantly. She knew her name was Pretty. All right? And she's adorable, but she's about to get on my nerves. What is you looking at? And now she's looking at me, being a hater, hating. Anyways. So, I think that a lot of Black women wear wigs because the men that they're trying to attract within their own group are texturists, featurists, colorists, and this is some of the only ways that they can get their attention and keep their attention. That's what I think, and that's what I believe. Okay? Now, so like I said about Doja and Saweetie, right? They wear wigs because they're artists, but I also think that they wear them like Halle Berry did so that people would just think she's Black, right? Because Saweetie has They both have like very long natural hair, right? They both have long natural hair. I've seen Doja's hair. It's kinkier than Saweetie's. It's much kinkier, but it's still long. It's still like shoulder length, Doja's hair. And Saweetie has long hair as well, probably more closer to her mother's hair texture. And I believe her mother is an Asian woman. You see what I'm saying? So she could wear her own hair, just like Cardi B. Cardi B has very long hair. She wears the wigs because this convinces people that they are black. Okay? I don't know what else to tell you. But you ask a lot of people will just say they're black, right? Where the reality is these women were raised by non-black women. And that's not a black experience to be raised by non-black women in non-black cultures. That's not a black experience, right? But people will say they're black. And a large part of that is because they'll dress black, do the black music, wear the wigs, wear the colorful, crazy wigs, right? Now let's get into the subject. Can you wash your natural hair under a wig? I mean, I didn't, like, come on. It's obvious. It's obvious. No, you can't. No, you can't. So what are you talking about? I had Tierra Monet. I don't know if you guys are familiar with her, influencer. Tierra Monet did my hair for my wedding. Okay, and it was a wig unit that she sewed onto my head. So she didn't glue it. She sewed it on. And I wore that for 3 weeks in Italy. And it was annoying as fuck. Like, I kept looking to try to find some like hairstylist that could like help me like take it off. I had to find a hairstylist to help me take it off because my husband don't know nothing about that. He cut all my hair off, baby. He would cut it all off, not knowing where to cut and what to do, you know? So I had to wait till we got back to America. And we were in Italy for 3 weeks. That was very uncomfortable, right? And then you have, so that's why I'm like, I literally know I've been in this situation, having to wear this wig unit on your head. It was not glued. It was sewed in, you know, kind of like a sew-in. It was kind of like a sew-in situation, right? And, you know, trying to like wash my hair through this wig unit, it's not possible. It was my hair didn't flourish under those conditions. Okay, it didn't flourish. That wasn't an ideal protective style because ideally I feel like I should have been able to take it off after 2 weeks at least, you know? And to this day, right, unless I'm going somewhere for a special occasion, I don't have, like, I can always take the wig off. I use bobby pins. So any wig that I wear, it can always come off. And I started doing more crochets and braids on vacations instead of units. And that was intentional because I'm like, I don't want to be on vacation for a week, 2 weeks, and I can't touch my scalp and feel my scalp and take care of my hair, right? Like that kind of ruins, the whole vacation vibe for me because I'm worried about my natural hair. So for this girl to do this experiment, like I said, to me, it was a foolish experiment because who cares if it can last for a month? The wig shouldn't be on your head for a month. You should be able to take it off. You shouldn't be finding ways to keep it on your head for a month. Now, is that me? Like, do I believe that Black women's hair should be policed? No, I don't. Let Black women do whatever they want, right? But now look at the price. Look at the price. The babies are paying the price because let Black women do whatever they want. Don't police Black women's hair. Okay. I totally agree. But now look what they're doing to the babies. Now they got wigs on the babies. Okay? Somebody got to police that. And you know who should police it? The people doing it. Your own common sense. Common sense should tell you not to get into a situation where you can't touch your own hair and scalp for a month. Tell me braids. What's the difference between wearing a wig and wearing braids. What do you mean? What's the difference? That's what I said. Is that a black person asking that question? You can fill your scalp with braids. You can oil your scalp. You can wash your scalp. You cannot properly wash and maintain your scalp, your head, your hair with a whole unit on top of it. Then the unit gets all soapy and wet, and it stays wet on your head. And what? Why would you go through all that when you just wear your own hair? And I've seen black women, especially in New York, baby. I've seen black women outside working out, lace front wig, just a lifting in the breeze. Just a lifting in the breeze, you know? Now, hey, you might be able to see my lace a time or two, but it's not because it's lifting. It's because I bobby pinned it, so it is what it is. And that's just how I feel. That's how I personally feel. You know, I want my hair to look as nice as possible, but at the end of the day, my natural hair comes first. If you can see a little bit of lace, because I'm wearing a protective style, oh well, that's not going to kill you. But, you know, I'll be seeing these girls' laces lifting and the glue drying. And, you know, I'm like, baby, just go and take care of your own hair. I wear my hair in twists, and then I'll put the twist in a ponytail or pigtails, right? But I also will wear it out more. When I apply shampoo and conditioner, I go through and finger detangle every single strand. It takes a while. Y'all know wash day is a trip. But I move my wash day from every 2 weeks to every week. Because I found just playing in my own hair more, right? Going through each strand with shampoo and conditioner, it helps with curl training. If you don't know what curl training is, look it up, right? You guys see Jackie Aina's hair a lot, right? Her natural hair is very curly, right? I think Issa Rae has similar, very curly, beautiful, like these beautiful little tiny curls you can see, right? It looks to me like they've done curl training, because after doing this for the past, I heard about that no butter challenge. And so I was like, let me try to do this more, where I rely less on oils and creams and more on just being more natural with it. I use a little bit of oil, a little bit of cream, but you know, I don't put oil on my scalp every day. And I feel like my scalp has done better because of that. That's just me. You guys can look up that no butter, no cream challenge. Okay, so basically, washing, conditioning my hair every week. I go through finger detangle and I'll do videos on this later when I get back to filming and stuff. Like I told you, I'm revamping things behind the scenes so I can do a lot more things like this, because I think it's important. I do want to show you guys, like, hey, this is how I've been able to do it, and encourage you with that. Right? Not just be talking about it like these mean-spirited avatars on Twitter that'll be telling people with pictures, you don't love yourself because you're wearing a weave, when I can't see your face. And like I said, again, you can have an avatar, but you shouldn't be walking around judging people, being mean and nasty for no reason. You don't, come on. It doesn't make sense. It's hypocritical. Yeah, the wigs are a lot, and the weaves are to appease the... Exactly. Now, you know, they make fun of, you know, the wigs that aren't, you know, the most expensive and whatnot. But hey, that's an assimilation wig. I wear an assimilation wig, but I'm not going to wear a wig to please a man. If you won't like me, then you better like my hair. I'll wear an assimilation wig to work, to job interview, you know. I'll wear a wig out on a date, but I don't care about the guy's opinion and whether he likes it or not, or whether he likes the style. I don't care, baby. I did this for me. You know what my hair look like underneath this? I'm black. So you better like that. Better like it. better like my, okay? I can definitely see that point. I used to wear wigs because I like changing up my hairstyles and colors, but I also didn't know about the beauty of natural styles or how to take care of my hair. Exactly, Miss Bree. And you know what? I still love wigs for that. I love to change it up. The thing that a lot of people don't understand about me is where these trolls, these male trolls come to my channel talking about some, let me see your hair. Let me see your hair under that wig. You can find anything that I've done, TV, film, almost every theater show I've done in New York. Obviously, you can't look up the theater shows, but there's some stuff out there of it. Pictures, whatnot, certainly. Media. You can look at any media of any theater show I've done. Almost every theater show, any TV show I've done, you have to wear your natural hair. So my whole life and career in the acting world is based on my natural hair. Okay? You have to have natural hair. You have to have natural nails. You can't really express yourself a lot. And that's why I loved coming to YouTube and being able to really try out new looks and express myself and the way I want to express myself instead of having to constantly, I know what I look like without makeup, without wig, whatever. I know what I look like, okay? I do it all the time in front of other people. It's not a problem for me. But I literally wanted to come onto YouTube and like use that as a way for me to be able to express myself and my, you know, love of makeup and beauty. And we deserve to be able to do that. Like, that's our right. We don't have to do anything to prove anything to anyone. But what I'm saying is, don't wear a wig for a month glued to your head. Take care of yourself. I agree with this post that said it's not only physically damaging, it is emotionally and psychologically damaging. Not just to me, not just wigs, to be honest. When you wear braids for an extended period of time, you know, I love getting braids, but the reality is, baby, you're going to have to take half the day to get them out at some point. So don't prolong it and be wearing the braids for 3 months. Take care of your hair. You know, you probably should take those braids out after 4 to 6 weeks. 4 to 6 weeks. Because, and then they're arguing that dirt makes your hair grow. That sounds like some old wives' tale, urban legend. Dirt make your hair grow. What? What are you talking about? That's not the proper way to grow your hair. They try to bring up the Chad women. You know, the women, the African women from Chad who use the chebe powder to grow out their hair, right? That's not dirt. That is a mixture of various herbs that they leave in their hair and then they wash it out and they do it again, right? But they don't just indefinitely leave that chebe powder in their hair. Your scalp has to be taken care of. You sit with these protective styles in your hair for so long. Aren't you worried about how the dirt and the oil mixing in there is going to start locking and fusing your hair together? And then you wore protective styling for what? Now you got to cut a bunch of hair out. Especially as oily as Black people hair can get? No. And I'm really thinking about y'all psychological and emotional well-being. Just start loving your hair. Just start doing your hair. I don't care how long it is. I don't care how many inches it is. You wash and condition your hair every week. At least every 2 weeks. And I think that just playing in your hair and seeing your hair and how it responds and reacts to various things is going to empower you as your hair grows and flourishes. That's going to empower you. That's what I want for you when I encourage you not to wear a wig for a month. It's not to tell you what to look like, sis. It's not. Y'all can look however y'all want. I would never do that to a Black woman because I don't want nobody doing that to me. But I'm going to encourage y'all in this live. I'm going to encourage you to start learning how to take care of your hair. Not old wives' tales. There are Black women scientists on here that specialize in taking care of your natural hair. I'll find them and put them in a community post sometime. I don't have the list in front of me. Study these things. Study these women. I've done so many different hair regimens up to this point where I decided 2 months ago that I was going to start washing my hair, washing it and conditioning every week instead of every 2 weeks. All right. So literally up until 2-3 months ago, I was doing something else that I learned that I thought was the right thing to do. And I will keep learning and growing and finding new ways to love my hair. But I'm not going to give up on my hair. Because how will I be able to raise my daughter to love herself and love her hair if she sees that mama don't love her hair? I love wigs to switch it up too, and because I hate applying heat to my hair. Exactly, Nat's opinion. Exactly. I haven't applied heat to my hair in a couple of years at this point. I'm not interested. I'm really more interested in the flourishing of it all, right? In the health and the length. Simultaneously, those two things are important to me. And before length comes health. And that's what I'm interested in right now when it comes to my natural hair. That includes, I'm not interested in showing y'all what my natural hair looks like in different designs and different this and that, because I'm not interested in appeasing anybody. I'm interested in taking care of my hair. I have a hair journey I'm going on right now. I got sesame oil sitting right here in the corner. You know, I got little bottles everywhere-ish. But take care of your hair, ladies. I'm not trying to shame nobody. Because when I see a Black woman that don't know how to do her hair, I think about when I didn't know how to do my hair. And it's a journey. I used to, one of the first years I started teaching theater, I worked at a place where it was majority other Black teachers and Black people. You know, it was a Black community. And it was one of my favorite jobs ever in life. Okay? Ever in life. I loved working at this place with, you know, my fellow Black teachers and, you know, it was POC and white teachers too, but it's just a great space for Black students to thrive. And we have POC and white students as well. But like I said, it was majority Black. And that's nice when you deal with PWIs your whole life the way that I have. And there was a Black woman that worked there, and her hair was so beautiful. She would wear it in this big curly afro, and it was, you know, her hair was gray, and it was just like this powerful, beautiful, curly gray afro, right? And I'm complimenting her hair all the time. And but I would wear my hair in twists and wear a wig under. And I just started wearing the wigs. Like, I didn't wear wigs until I was dating like 3 years after I started dating my husband. I saw my Chrysalis video, beautiful Black woman with an interracial family. And she was saying that she used wigs as protective styling to grow out her hair. Her hair is very long. It's very beautiful. And I was like, wow, I would love to do that. So I remember telling my husband at the time, I was like, oh my goodness, these wigs are like hundreds of dollars, but it would cost that much for me to like get my hair done in a weave or something like that. So maybe I'll just invest in these wigs and start doing you have to invest in these hundreds of dollars wigs and ish. Now I just do synthetic, baby, because like I said, I'm just not trying to impress anybody else. It is what it is. But I would wear my hair basically in protective styling under the wigs, right? Most of the time. And this Black woman, I would compliment her hair all the time. And then one time I wore my hair out, right? Because I wear my hair out sometimes. Like, that's not a problem. But I didn't do it all the time. So when I wear my hair out, she would be like, oh, your hair is beautiful. You should wear your hair out more. And I was like, thanks, it doesn't look like yours. And she's like, you just have to do your hair more. She's like, just play with it and just wear it out more. She said, the more you wear it out, the more beautiful it will look to you. I promise you. And you know what? I still didn't for years after that. It was like a couple of years after that. I still was like, no, I would wear it out occasionally. But I was like, if I wear it out too much, then, I'm afraid that it'll break off. And, I didn't understand the strength of my own hair. Our hair is very durable. Now, it'll knot up on you. My hair will knot up quick because it's very curly. I got that World War Z pattern. I call it World War Z pattern, baby. Okay, it's very curly. But let me tell you guys what happened when I started washing and conditioning every week. I started to get that Jackie Aina curl. And now, instead of that kind of zigzag World War Z pattern that I had, now it's more defined, like coiled, because I do curl training with the shampoo and conditioner. And yeah, I'm going to make videos about this later, guys, because again, I'm not here to be like, do this. I'm here to encourage you and inspire you, and you do what's best for you, but always grow and always learn and start loving yourself. And that's what that older Black woman told me. And I didn't listen for a few years, but I always remember what she said. I always remember what she said because her hair was beautiful. And I kid you not, the more I wear my own hair, and no, I'm not going to just wear it out. I'll wear it out in twists though. I was not even wearing the twist out because I was like, oh my, like who wants to see, a bunch of twists, right? But I'm like, okay, well, it is what it is. This is my hair. I think it's beautiful. You can like it or not. I have locks. I can't stand wearing a wig. It's irritating. I've tried. Okay. Yeah. I've only seen very few women with locks wear wigs, but I've been thinking about locks for a while now. I really have. I just love them. I think they're beautiful. And I think I've told my husband, I said, like, when it comes to like the time for me to like raise our kids and stuff, I think I'm just going to get locks so that I can focus on other things besides my hair, because I still love my hair and I still want to be natural and all that stuff. But I feel like locks will help me to like not be giving hours and hours and hours. Of course, you have to maintain locks. I've watched a lot of videos. I looked into sister locks. I don't know if it's something I can do because you have to like basically become best friends with this like sister lock technician that you're going to choose, to do your hair. And I just haven't had great luck with hairstylists in general. And so that discouraged me from sister locks. But, maybe micro locks or something in between micro locks and whatever Chloe and Hallie have going on for their hair, because I love their hair. Yeah, it does. It feels very therapeutic especially because no one, my husband's the only person that compliments my natural hair. But just growing up, no one ever complimented our hair. For me to look at my hair and be like, wow, this is beautiful. Like, I love this. And my husband's like, oh my gosh, this is great. Like, I'm like, this is so good for my mental and my emotional and my psychological well-being. This is so good for it. It's not good for it? Feeling like you got to wear a wig on your head for a month. You know what I'm saying? And no, you cannot wash your hair properly with a wig on top. Not for one day and certainly not for a month. So I don't want to hear that. I think learning the chart could be a good thing because you know what type of hair you have to take care of. I know my type of hair is thick but fine, so having it doesn't work. So having it out doesn't work for me because it breaks. Exactly, Melinda. I'm in a similar situation. I have fine hair. So I can't wear my hair out a lot. I can't manipulate it a lot. And you know, like I said, I love Star Puppy. I think she's got similar hair, Danielle over at Star Puppy. But you know, there's been a lot of Black women natural hair YouTubers that have gotten on here. I know y'all remember those videos. A couple of years back, it was like a dozen videos, right, where these natural hair YouTubers were coming on and basically cussing out their subscribers, right? Being like, oh, my hair broke off because of you. Because I came on YouTube trying to show y'all different styles. Now my hair gone, right? Or the hair would break off, or the hair would be glued into a knot because they were doing wash and goes like nobody's business. All that gel, it's not good for your hair. I don't do all that gel-ish. And I don't care. You can like my curl pattern or not. I like it. It's not going to be the crispiest of curls, baby. Because I'm not putting all that gel in my hair. I don't think it's good for your hair, all that gel. But it's a lot of people that do the wash and goes, right? And they're using a lot of gel in these wash and goes. I refuse. I'm not going to do that. Because that's how you end up one day with your hair glued together. Because you do that, and then you use one of these protein shampoos, right? It's 3:42, you guys, and I have not eaten at all today. And I just realized it, and it hit me like, oh my goodness. Wow. Because we woke up early, we ran, and then I went on a 45-minute walk after that. And I still have to walk my dog. I'm trying to do the intermittent fasting thing, but oh my gosh, guys. It's real life. You guys are seeing in real life what happens when you go long periods without eating. I'm just, you know, it is what it is. I'll be honest with you. I'm really trying to lose this weight. And I know the only way to do it is to suffer, is to go through pain, you know, and it's like, it's very painful to be overweight and heavy breasted and running, and it's a lot. So I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to get off of here soon, baby. Plus it's taco night, you know. My husband's like, it's taco night. I was like, yeah, thanks. I'm the one that's got to make them, right? So I'm gonna have to make him some tacos. God. But you know what? I'll tell y'all, I grew up in foster care. I grew up in abject poverty. And I always knew that I would have a good life, but I thought that I would just be giving it to myself. I was like, I'm definitely going to have a good life because I'm going to persevere over all of this stuff, no matter what. But I never knew that I would meet a man who would love me and help me in that journey. So I'm very happy to like be a wife, you know, and like make him meals and stuff like that. That greatly pleases me. And I know my great grandmother who helped raise me would be very proud to see me cooking for my husband. She might not be so proud about the ingredients, but I know she would be proud. All right, so let me finish up here. My friends encourage me to put in crochet braids because I don't really feel comfortable with wigs because it gives me a headache, honestly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I wish I could do crochet braids on my own. The problem is you got to go to these unauthorized hairstylists to get it done if you don't know how to do it on your own. And they do it too tight and they'll be pulling your natural hair. So I even started avoiding the crochet. Shoot. Sometimes it can take years for us to decide to take the advice given to us by elders. Yep. True. I thought, I was like, she don't know what she's talking about, because I can't be having my hair out because that'll cause breakage, right? And so that's what I believed. That's what I believed for a long time. But I told you guys this before. Water. Be water, my friend. Okay? Be water. And guess what? Also apply water to your head. I've always found the most growth that I've had is when I don't wear a shower cap and I just let my natural hair get wet every day. Because that moisture, that is what moisturizes your hair. Understand this. Now, I'm not a beauty hairstylist, but I've done a lot of research. Let me tell y'all something. I won't talk to y'all about nothing that I haven't done extensive research on. Water is what moisturizes your hair, ladies. It's not oils. It's not butter. Those are things that lock in moisture. And I love aloe because aloe has a lot of water. Okay? I think aloe is really great. When I use aloe, hair stay popping. I love aloe, especially if you have to detangle your hair and you're like, oh my gosh, I got to detangle my hair, right? And I'm really worried about how tangled my hair is. Get you some aloe. Get you some aloe. Get you an aloe leaf. I get the aloe leaf and I juice it. All right. First I do the proper steps. Look it up. Make sure I clean it and everything. I juice that aloe leaf. I apply it. Mwah, chef's kiss. Water is what moisturizes your hair. Your hair has to get wet, ladies. And we've been taught, dirt, help it grow. Don't get your hair wet, right? Only get your hair wet when it's time to wet it on wash day. I got rid of my shower caps years ago. I learned like water is the moisturizing key ingredient, water. Let me tell you something. If you did nothing else, there are people that do nothing else but shampoo and condition. They don't use oils, nothing. Your hair would grow. Your hair would grow. Okay? I think our hair, I like a little oil. I like a little cream every now and then, but just a little. Right? I have this Moroccan oil, and I'm telling you, this Moroccan oil ain't no joke. I got it from Sephora. I love this Moroccan oil. Mm-hmm. So, water is necessary. Dirt, and all my research, I've not heard not one person be like, dirt is the way it grows. Like, no. That's an old wives' tale. I realize now I should have gotten sister locks due to my hair texture. Oh, okay. That's why I haven't gotten locks yet, because I'm like, it's a lot that goes into locks. A lot that people think you could just go willy-nilly in the locks. Nah, you can't go willy-nilly in the locks neither. That's why I say I'm not trying to say that it has no maintenance, but I think that locks overall give you more freedom of less maintenance than the unlocked natural hair. Just from a little bit of research and looking that I've done. Yes, T. I'm doing that. And I usually try to go till 2. But I forgot. Sometimes, you just forget. It is what it is. Like I told my husband was like worried yesterday because I did something similar yesterday. Like I told him, I'm overweight. I know what I'm doing. I've lost 80 pounds 3 times. This will be the 4th time that I do it. Okay, so I know what I'm doing. I'm an adult. I should have been smarter because I literally was about to pass out on y'all. But I'm not starving myself. I am far too overweight to starve, right? Because I skipped a meal. So, but I'm going to get into that with you guys. all of that healing. The hair, what we put into our bodies. The reason I cook more is because, baby, I got to be in charge of what we put into our bodies. I got to be in charge of what I'm putting on my head. I got to be in charge. You got to want to be in charge more of what's happening in your life. That's what I'm trying to implore y'all. Because the more in charge, the more you educate yourself on how to do your hair, on how to get to a good weight and maintain a healthy weight, and to eat nutritious meals, and to find a workout plan that works for you. The more you start doing this stuff, the more you'll feel in control. And that's what it's all about. Feeling out of control leads to chaos, leads to dysfunction. I'm doing the 16/8 fast, Melanie Sunshine. I have a hard time going all day. I'm trying to do a born day fasting. I was born on a Tuesday. So born day fasting would mean that I would fast every Tuesday of every week for the rest of my life. And eventually I do want to move into that. I'll be honest, it's been hard to do that with my husband because he's like, why aren't you eating? And he like wants to eat with me. It's like, the times I've tried to do it, I've gotten to like 7 p.m. and my husband's like sitting over like in the corner, like starving. And he's like, I'm trying to born day fast with you. I'm like, boy, give it up. This is for me. You doing something else. Like my husband drinks only water, for example. Like he doesn't drink soda, juice. That messes me up. Because I like I got a video about it. Why people like juice. I like my juice. Okay. I am Tanisha Thomas when it comes to juice. I am Tanisha Thomas. I'm like, who drank my juice? Who drank my juice? I'll start banging pots and pans. Go crazy. I'll go crazy over that juice. Okay. So because I still have a sweet tooth for juice, that's not helping me to lose weight as fast as I would like to. So that's why I try to do other things, right? So it is what it is. But he can't do what I'm doing because he does other things. So he sits there trying not to eat. I'm trying to be in solidarity with you. When he's sitting up there looking like he's dying. So now I gotta eat. So that so my husband is a trip. He really is. Gotta get protein in too. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I learned how to do my own locks. I haven't used lock gel in 10 years. I use the crochet hook. Oh, okay. Nice. It's so nice. Thank you for being here, Maria Wilburn, and giving us your knowledge on locks, because I really appreciate that in here. Oh, bye, Nat's Opinion. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. You'll get to where you want to be. Intermittent fasting is amazing and it teaches discipline. Yes, T. Yes. Why is everybody so afraid of discipline? Because like, you're not eating. It's called, look, I'm going to eat. I'm a big girl. I'm a big girl. I eat, but you still got to take care of yourself, right? I only use a loctician for color and pinups. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know what? And I appreciate you giving that advice because, again, I don't want to have to be relying on someone else to do my hair, any hairstyle I have. And again, that's why I'm avoiding the sister locks route, because I love sister locks. I think they look so beautiful, so beautiful. But I'm like, if I have to go visit some woman and be friends with her, I have to visit this woman every month, every 4 to 6 weeks to like retwist my hair. Like, I don't know. You got to sit and let her retwist the hair for like 8 hours. And you got to do that like every month. To me, that's crazy. It's too much. And I don't want to do all that. Hello, Aquarius. This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Welcome. I use hair grease and curl activator with water. Oh, okay. I got some curl activator, but I never used it. I also got the hair grease, and I do use that sometimes. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm like, hey, if I'm feeling a little dry, yes, there's water, but y'all know water don't, I like a little shine. I like a little, it is what it is. Definitely use that hair grease. When they said hair grease was okay again, I definitely went and got myself another Blue Magic, okay? Because that's what we grew up on. Blue Magic, Green Magic. And my grandpa had, my great-grandfather had white hair, and he used Blue Magic. And it would make his hair blue, and I always remember that about him, I just love that memory because I loved looking at his hair, and like his hair is so blue because he uses that Blue Magic. Blue Magic. I reversed hair loss with grease. Oh, wow. Interesting. I believe it. Yep, I believe it's possible. Water every day. There it is. Every day I let my hair just touch the water in the shower. I just sit back. Just sit back and let it soak in there. Ain't nothing. Hey, babe, I think it helps. I do. I told you guys before, and again, this video is on my Patreon. I cut my hair like to 4 inches last summer, and it's already shoulder length again. There, it's the water, baby. It's the water. Look at all that water. There we go. I wash my hair often, at least 2 times. Oh, 2 times a week. Wow, there we go. Wow. Okay, you see what I'm saying? Because I was getting scared. I was like, am I doing it too much? I've done once a week for the past 2-3 months, and I was like worried. I was like, is this wrong? Is this gonna negatively affect my hair? But like I told you guys, so far it's been flourishing. And Aquarius is saying she washes hers 2 times a week. Right? Let's change the conversation about hair to how awesome and amazing our natural hair is. It's so beautiful. Those curls, you won't find it anywhere else. And water, that cleansing property, baby. Not just to cleanse your hair, but to cleanse your soul. Okay? Embrace it. Absolutely. Melanie says, I don't be using anything and I have long hair, but I always had long hair. Oh, okay. And that sounds like a secret, right? It's like doing too much can really mess it up. Putting all the different chemicals and products, right? Absolutely. Just leave it alone. I spray it with water daily. Then I grease my scalp and use curl activator for moisture. Yep. No willy-nilly with locks. Yep. If you have coarse hair, no sister locks. And you know what, Maria? I believe that's your name. I like the way you spell that. I've noticed that with the sister locks. I've noticed a lot of the women that have it have very fine hair. And I was like, oh, their hair look really good because it looks almost permed. Some of the women do perm their hair. I was watching one woman, her hair is permed and she has locks. Very interesting. And she has very micro locks. I don't know if they're sister locks, but she has micro locks. I'm trying to take better care of my hair. I was doing so well 2 years ago, then I'm getting neglected. You know what? Depression is real. Depression is real and it happens. I've even found that on some of my more depressing days, pushing through to make sure that I'm shampooing and conditioning every week has kind of helped me lift out of that depression. Because I'm like, oh, I'm sad about so much. But then I'm looking at my hair. I'm looking at my hair and I'm like, this is so beautiful. Right? And again, I'm married to a man that loves 1A hair. A lot of Black women are with men that don't like their hair. The men don't like their own hair and they don't like the woman's hair. Don't ever be around anybody that doesn't like your natural features at all. I stopped caring about the Black society, internal self-hate, and did what I needed to save my hair. Thank you, Aquarius. Thank you, Aquarius. Yes. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, I wash it with shampoo. Yep. Thank you. Yes. Thank you so much, Aquarius. Very nice of you. Thank you. I don't do manipulation styles either. Back in the day, I read that woolly hair is fragile. This cannot be emphasized enough. Less is more. Yes. Yes, exactly. That's why they want to sit up there. Let me see your hair. My husband will see my hair. If you live around me, you'll see my hair. I don't have to show you my hair. I'm not manipulating my hair to make sure it looked the right style for y'all. Y'all just called this little girl Molly a slave because her hair was parted and in two braids. Y'all didn't like that. Y'all wanted her to have baby hairs and texturous. I don't do that baby hair ish. I've told y'all before, especially for black people. I wish you would be a black person, then you're gonna laugh at my hair when you won't even show yours. Texturous. I gotta do all that baby hair ish for what? For a bunch of niggas with nappy hair? Come on now. Come on now. I know what our hair looked like. Maybe y'all forgot. Maybe the wig, the stocking caps, and the wigs, these wigs glued onto your head made you forget what your hair looked like. But see, I play with my real hair. I handle my real hair every day. So I know what our hair looks like. See, that's the psychological part. How is it psychologically good for you to not even touch your own hair for a month straight? How does that psychologically behoove you? Who else lives that way? I mean, you got a few, non-black people that like to do locks and they look ridiculous. They look ridiculous. I don't care what nobody say. They can do whatever the hell they want. I'm not focused on that, but I'm telling them, if you want to know how you look ridiculous with locks when you don't have Afro textured hair. You look ridiculous. But go ahead and do it. And they only do that for a phase. I've never seen an old white person with locks. It's just a phase. It is psychologically damaging for you to have hair on your head that's not yours. And you don't even remember what your own hair looks like. And then what happened? You take the wig off, you take the protective styling off, and you have your hair to contend with. And what did Deja Harris say? I don't like my own hair. Maybe she didn't wear all those wigs all the time. She would like her own hair. Maybe if she went around a guy that she liked and she wore her natural hair and she said, this is my natural hair. You can like it or not. And she made other people have to contend with who she is instead of changing herself constantly for their approval. Maybe she would like her own natural hair more. Because you know what? Your mama and your daddy, your family members, they might not give you those compliments. You know these dusty males are not going to compliment your natural hair. You know they're going to compliment the 2C, 3A hair. They're texturous and they hate their hair. So if you're thinking that you can wait until the men start to like it, you're sadly mistaken. They're not going to like it for a very long time. And I don't care what they say. I told y'all before, I'll have my hair out naturally. My husband, 3 or 4 years back, I was wearing my natural hair and I had cut it. So it was fairly short. Again, probably 3 or 4 inches. My hair has never been like shorter than like 4 inches, but it was probably like 4 inches at this point. And I see this black guy just staring at me and my husband. And it was a stare that was like, I can't believe he's with this black woman with this natural hair. He wasn't staring like, oh, I want this black woman with the natural hair. He was staring like, a white guy wants to be with a black woman with natural hair? Yeah, he thinks it's beautiful. He thinks it's beautiful. Yeah. That's his standard of beauty, is me. Get into it, yeah. Get into it, yeah. Blue Magic and Royal Crown. Oh, yeah, I'm a Royal Crown. All right. All for wisdom. Hey, Danie, new subby here. Glad to catch you live. It's really crazy how the terms good hair even exists. Type 4 hair is just more high maintenance, but it's deemed as bad hair nappy. Shaking my head. All for wisdom. Welcome. Thank you so much for subscribing. Appreciate you. You know, I'm going to be honest. And you know what, Aquarius, you tell me if you agree or disagree. But I find, yes, of course, our hair is a bit more maintenance. Of course. But a lot of that has to do with the society that we live in, right? People look at people who free lock and they say, oh, they're not, you know, again, I'll bring up the Jay-Z thing. People are like, oh, I don't like Jay-Z's hair because he's free locked. Well, his hair is literally doing what his hair does. This is a billionaire. You think he doesn't wash his hair? You think he doesn't spend money on his hair? Of course he does. But that's literally what his hair looks like, with money spent on it, being washed and groomed. That's what his hair looks like if you just leave it alone and let it grow. But we live in a society that says y'all can't just leave y'all hair alone and let it grow, and you can't just put your hair in a ponytail. You gotta slick down the edges for baby hairs. But you can't just slick down the edges with baby hairs. You gotta slick down the edges with the baby hairs. You gotta put the little bands on. Wait for the baby hairs to dry. Now you can't go nowhere. Wait for this band. Wait for the baby hairs to dry. If you wear a bonnet, you know they ain't gonna let that happen. You know. I'm not gonna wear a bonnet so that baby hairs can dry. Okay. I'm not going to wear a bonnet outside waiting for baby hairs to dry. So now you're in the house waiting for your baby hairs to dry. You can't just put your hair in a ponytail and go. Because this society says no. But what I'm telling you guys is I believe you can. I believe you can. And that's what I'm telling you. Right now, my hair is in twists. I put the twists in 2 pigtails and call it a day. And I wish somebody would say something about it. This is my hair. It's beautiful. It's well taken care of. It don't have to look like, but if you leave it to these YouTubers, you know, next thing you know, it's a slave. Slave hair. Slave hair. Y'all know that wig is not y'all hair, right? Sick. The way Black people internalize anti-Blackness is sick. And the kids pay the price. I teach these kids, and I have so many little Black girls don't like their hair, are fascinated with non-Black girls' hair, and don't like their own hair. Because we're still not doing the work to teach our kids to love themselves. Because they look at mama, and mama ain't take the wig off in a month. Not a month, right? Mama ain't took the wig off. Mama always wearing protective styling. Mama always wearing wigs, or she always perming, right? You see what I'm saying? I'll be damned. I told my husband, I said, I will love my natural hair before I bring a kid into this world. And I'm sitting up here not loving myself, but telling them that they should love themselves. Kids follow what you do. You have to set that example. You know, and that's why I encourage every woman that has an Avi that wants to tell women, oh, you don't love yourself because she's not wearing her natural hair in a picture. Post a picture of your natural hair in your Avi instead of not showing any part of you. Oh, well, it's stupid to show your face. Well, then show your hair since you're telling everybody else how to wear their hair. Now, I'm not telling nobody how to wear their hair. All I'm saying is over here, let's talk about some of the ways that we can nourish our hair and love ourselves. And if you do that work, you'll wear your natural hair more. Instinctively, you'll wear it more. After I started taking care of my hair more, I was like, I'll be damned to cover my hair up with a wig. No, this is beautiful. Get into it, yeah. Get into it. Oh, wow. Wow. I had a woman had very, very short hair. She came up to me, my hair was out when we were talking about natural hair in Harlem a couple months ago, probably like 3 or 4 months ago. And she said that she had shaved her head. And she said to feel the rain on her bald head was one of the most liberating, transformative experiences she'd ever had. And Tiffany Haddish said something similar when she shaved her head, right? She was like, to feel that rain on your bald head, right? And I'm not going to lie, that interests me. That interests me because, again, I've never cut my hair past like 4 inches. I just feel like I look better with longer hair, or fuller hair, you know. But I'm kind of curious now. I'm like, if you shave it bald, you get to feel that rain on you. What would that be like, right? Why shouldn't you experience all of that? Because some guy talking about something, he want to see baby hairs. I want to see a check for $1 million. I want to see adequate schools in Black communities. You first. You put adequate schools in the Black communities, and I'll give you baby hairs. Okay? You first. I had long hair as a child, but the chemicals ruined it. That'll do it. That'll do it. And why? Because our ancestors were brought here, robbed and denied of their culture and their heritage, enslaved and forced to take care of other people and other people's hair for so long. This has destroyed the psyche of our people. And we need to re-educate ourselves about what was stolen from us. The knowledge of how to take care of our hair and get that back. Get that back. Yeah, it grows fast. Pink Lotus, hello. I wish my mom never introduced waxers when I was younger. I'm on my 4th year of being natural and I love it. Exactly, beautiful Eva. Welcome. Exactly. You know, they put bald spots in our head when we was growing up with these damn relaxers. Just burning you. Can you imagine? I can't imagine making my 6-year-old daughter sit down in a chair and I'm putting chemicals on her head for what? To me, it's child abuse. The perm of child's head is child abuse. It's sick. Of course, our parents didn't know any better. They didn't have the access to education that we have today. You do a disservice to yourself to not educate yourself on how to properly take care of your hair. First, you got to figure out, again, someone talked about the chart, right? And I don't think we should call ourselves 4C. I think we should call ourselves 1A. That's why it's 1A over here. But I think that the chart, like someone was saying in the comments, figuring out the type of hair you have, that's the first step to taking care of your hair. I realized I had low porosity, fine strand hair. Thick, but fine. I couldn't manipulate it a lot. I can't wear all the fun styles that I would see. I have beautiful Black women friends who wear their hair in different type of styles all the time. Their natural hair, so beautiful. But their strands are not fine. So they can wear their hair out all the time, right? I can't do that. I'm a little jealous, but I keep it moving, you know? You know, I'll wear my hair, like I said, I'll wear it in twists. I'll wear it in ponytails, right? But I'm wearing my hair out more. You done? Did you hear me? Was I loud and bothering? How did everything go? Okay, great. Well, you gotta say anymore. We're live. Right. Okay. I told them I was gonna go, but you know, I haven't eaten anything. I'm like, at this point, I might as well make the tacos. I'm starving.
All right. It's 4:30.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. See, I just told my husband, I was like, oh, maybe I'll make the tacos. He's like, he want me to wait till like at least whatever, Ken. Get into it, yeah. When it's long enough to plait and cornrow, I would do that, and I don't want extensions. I'll just continue to wrap it in a beautiful cloth or wear it out in a fro. Yes, exactly. That's what I'm on. And these little liars, these old dusty liars, becoming, oh, why you wear your natural? Why you got that one with a wig on your head? As if black women went to the club with twists and head wraps, they would be popping bottles in VIP for these women. That's why I said they're lying and you know it, but love yourself anyways. You don't need the approval of somebody that wears a stocking cap for 12 hours a day. You don't need the approval about your natural hair from someone with the same hair texture, a male who wears a stocking cap on his head 12 hours a day. Okay, you don't need his approval. Who cares what they think? That's what they come out. Like I said, they come out all the time. You're weak. I don't care. I don't care about your opinion. You have no power. I don't care about people with no power opinion, baby. If you had power, you would do something about it instead of sitting there talking. Get into it, yeah. I have color in my hair. However, it weakened my locks. Yeah. I was wondering how that affects the hair, coloring it. My electrician wanted to use edge control on my edges. No, I have edges. One side of my hair is shaved. I still have edges. Yes, exactly. Yes. Yeah, edge control for what? For the rest of y'all? We black, ain't we? Keep it moving. Because white people don't care about that. They don't care. They still think your hair nappy. You get edge control for white people, so they still be they still can tell you black and you got black hair, so they don't care. So who's it for? Come on. Color weakened my niece's hair too, but she loves her purple locks. Oh, okay. That's good to know because I would love to color my hair, but I'm not going to do it at the expense of weakening my hair. That's why I will wear a wig, right? To have fun. I get started at it a lot. It motivates me more to wear it, and I'm 50% gray. So if you can imagine, I get stared into the floor. Why? I mean, because it's beautiful, right? I mean, yeah. I mean, that's why I assume people would stare, because it's beautiful. I use a vegan fun color that washes out for fun. Purple, pink, or blue. That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly my next move. These little fun colors, right? I don't need it to last long. You know, I want to put some pink and purple in to have fun with that. Yeah. Keep it moisturized. Great advice. Me too. Yep. Me too. Same. I use those as well. Yes. Let me tell you guys something. I've been doing various table reads with via Zoom with a lot of like actors and writers from LA. And I was wearing my protective little wigs at first, you know. And again, when I started washing my hair every week, a few months back, and wearing my hair out more, I've said I'm not gonna wear the wigs at these Zooms. Like when I do anything as an actor anymore, I'm not gonna wear protective hair. I'm just gonna wear my hair, whatever my hair is, whatever my hair is like. If it's in twists, if it's just in a ponytail, whatever, I'm just gonna wear my hair. And I did. And I didn't wear makeup, and it felt so free. And I'm gonna come on here like that for you guys as well, because I just feel like I've moved into that place in my life where I love beauty. I love wigs and makeup, but I'm like, wow, I kind of love me, right? I was like, wow, like I love my hair. I love my skin. This is great, right? Like, no, I don't need to put on makeup. I obviously don't need to put on makeup, but psychologically, I don't need to do that. Right? I don't need anyone's approval. That was very freeing. So again, I'll be coming on more like that as well. And I do it now even on my Patreon, like I said. So it's not something that I'm scared to do. I do it for my Patreon as well. But again, I've used YouTube as a way to express purposely that I don't often get to do in my real life, because being an actor, they want your natural hair. As you guys can see, they don't want beautiful Black women with amazing, cool, different hairstyles and their nails is popping, and they don't want that. They want a very downtrodden look for Black women in the industry. So I don't wear makeup and stuff. And you know what? I still don't get cast when it comes to that kind of ish, to be honest, because I can't pull it off. I'm like, downtrodden. I try to look down. How much more downtrodden you want, you know? So, oh, well, it is what it is. That's the industry. I feel like my hair to thicken my locks. Over twisting will, yeah, I've seen that. You got some great advice about locks, Maria. Appreciate that. You've answered a lot of questions I've had about locks over the years. I enjoy the shocked, bewildered look on people's faces. Yes. Speaking of that, Aquarius, I was in the grocery store a few months back, and I had crochets in. No, this was like, actually, this wasn't a few months back. This was I had a crochet. This must have been like a year ago. So I had a crochet, and I'm at the self-checkout, and my self-checkout machine wasn't working, and neither was this like old like Karen, right? There was this Karen in the store, and her white woman, her machine wasn't working either. I call her Karen because of what happened next. Anyways, I'm looking around for some help. I see her machine's not working either. I see she's looking around for help. I'm still looking around for help. A minute later, I see her. She's looking at me. I'm like, what are you looking at me for? And she just continues staring at me. I'm like, what is she staring at? So, so I just looked at her, right? Like, what are you staring at? And she was like, well, is anyone gonna help me? And I was like, I don't know. I don't work here. And she looks at me. She looks up at my crocheted hairstyle, which was like dreads and braids at the time, locks. Sorry, I mean to call it dreads, which was locks and braids at the time, right? My crochet style. She looks up at my hair and she goes, I'm sorry, you just look like you do. I was like, what? How do I look like I work here? The grocery store is near my home. Like I told you guys, I live in the suburbs outside of New York City. The only people that work there are white people. Like, it's white people, like working class, poor white people work there. There's no Black people that work there. So I was like, what? What are you talking about? Girl, child, get out of here. I was like, no, this is not the look of the people that work here, dear. The people that work here Don't look nothing like this. Okay? So yeah, they definitely, they love to stare. I twisted my hair yesterday and couldn't stop looking at how great it looked in the mirror. Nice! I'm conceited. I got a reason. See, I look too good to be wearing units. And I look too good to be wearing lace. I look way too good to be using glue. I'm conceited. I got a reason. I got a reason. Yes, absolutely. See, not all Black people were brought. Many were indigenous tribes here with froze. True. My grandmother, who I talk about often on this channel, was Black and Native American. And like I've said, I can't tell you anywhere else that I've come from. My family only knows being here in America. Of course, I'd have to do extensive research to find any other place we're from. I had siblings do a DNA analysis, right? A DNA ancestry analysis. And I'm gonna be honest, a little honest. My sibling, was 23% European. My sibling's DNA, we have the same mother and father, but the sibling is light skinned. 23% European DNA. That was shocking. Okay. But where a lot of our African DNA was found, and they don't have like indigenous results on this ancestry test. So I don't really know like how much you can take from these ancestry tests. But like I said, what they found from my sibling, 23% European DNA. And apparently we come from the Fulani peoples. Which and they are dispersed in various places throughout Africa, mostly on the west, I believe. But yeah, that was beautiful to learn that. And one day I'll go back and try to find all those places and whatnot as well. But my husband's family, for example, his grandmother's parents came here from Sicily. His grandmother's parents came here from Sicily. My great-grandmother was a Native American and Black woman. Her mother was a Native American. Her father was a Black man. Their parents were American. Their parents were American. You know what I'm saying? Whatever America was when they were here, right? And there's a sort of lack of respect for that experience in this country. But I'm going to be proud of all of it, baby. I'm going to be proud of all of it. I'm a makeup queen. Since the pandemic, I haven't had to replace my makeup. Colors for Black women makeup has skyrocketed. Mixed makeup colors. Yeah. Yes, same. I haven't had to replace my makeup either since the pandemic. Woohoo! I also haven't worn much since the pandemic, And again, that's been nice, both sides of it. What isn't nice is feeling like you have to always wear makeup, always wear a wig, right? Love eyeshadow. Yes. I was so sad with this whole false lashes, clear lip gloss look that everyone's been rocking. I'm like, yo, don't forget. My eyeshadows are over here talking about something. Don't forget about us. Eyeshadow said, don't forget about us. Okay. Now I got some beautiful colors and I want to rock them. You know, that's why I love wearing makeup, because I'm like, this is beautiful, right? I know. I was like, bitch, I don't work here. Do you? Do you work here? Can you help me? The hell? Looking at me like I work here. You must be outside Joe Rabbit. Yes. Right. Like, what are you talking about? Lord. So, finishing up on the conversation, guys, right? I want people who feel the need to wear protective stylings for weeks and weeks on end with no access to their own natural hair and scalp to understand that the people that you're imitating to look this way, because you are imitating people to look this way, it's not some original thing, right? These artists and entertainers and rappers that you're imitating to look this way, they have the money so that they don't have to wear a wig glued to their head for a month. You know what I'm saying? So some people will say, well, it costs $500 or it costs $1,000. You want it to last long. Look, if you can't afford the hairstyle, don't get the hairstyle. You got to do what's best for you mentally, spiritually, financially. And you're talking about a problem that has to do with the fact that you care about what other people will say about your natural hair. So you just want it to be covered up as long as possible. You don't really have no money for these elaborate wig units to be styled and placed on your head, but you're doing that anyways. If you can't afford it, then you should not be getting it. Straight up. You know, I love how Meg, especially Meg Thee Stallion. I've seen Doja's natural hair as well, right? But Meg Thee Stallion, she showed y'all her natural hair. Beautiful, beautiful natural hair. I posted a picture of Megan in her natural hair once, and a Dusty was like, if that's beautiful, these dudes hate themselves. They hate themselves. Meg is a millionaire. She has an amazing natural body. Her hair is beautiful. What more do you want? And he's sitting up there, if that's beautiful, he looking for some Raggedy Ann. He looking for some Raggedy Ann to tell her she's the most beautiful. She doesn't care what you think, Dust. And neither does Meg Thee Stallion, and neither do I. Nobody cares. Okay? But you could just see the self-hate that Meg is sitting up here, natural body, natural hair. If that's pretty, then ew, I don't know. What do you mean if that's pretty? She's beautiful. That's not enough for y'all? Get out of here. And you know, there's a lot of YouTubers. When we talk about natural hair, right? There's a lot of YouTubers. There's a lot of influencers out there, kind of like Kelly Rowland and SZA, right? Who like you got Beyonce, and I don't know if we've seen Beyonce's natural hair straightened. Okay, we've seen it in pictures. She's got long hair, but I don't know if you'll ever see her hair in a natural kinky state. Her natural hair, right? And you have people like Kelly Rowland and SZA, who love rocking natural hair weave, right? The natural hair weave and wig units. Kelly Rowland and SZA love rocking those. Here's my thing. People love to say, well, I can see if you're going to wear a wig, but why do you have to wear the straight ones? Why not the natural ones, right? I'm like, are these people that have ever bought wigs or weave, right? Like, the natural hair units are very expensive, okay? They're more expensive than the straight ones. I'm not particularly interested in buying and spending $200 more for a natural styled unit when I have natural hair. You see what I'm saying? Like, I have my own natural hair. Now, I love the natural units as well, but they cost more. So if you're on a budget and the protective styling isn't all about the styling part for you as much as it is about the protective part. I don't see a problem in wearing the natural and wearing a straight wig over a natural hair wig. Now, I do understand this criticism being aimed at these Instagram influencers who are always wearing, the Brazilian, Indonesian, Malaysian units. They can afford to wear more natural textured hair. So why don't they? Why don't these Ariana Fletcher type Instagram baddies wear more natural styled units? Because that's not appeasing to the men that they want to attract, which are high earning dusties, right? They want to attract high earning dusties. High earning dusties don't like their own hair. Deja Harris just proved that. Her daddy didn't tell her she had beautiful hair. What is the point of having a daddy when they get to skip out on all of the ish that a daddy's supposed to do? And a daddy does, right? A daddy does. A daddy should have told his daughter that her hair was beautiful. My daddy, my biological birth father, spent more time on his own hair than he ever spent on ours growing up. And guess where he's going to go for doing that with his life? To the seventh ring of hell, to the seventh ring of Dante's Inferno. That's where men who spend more time styling their own hair than their children's hair, that's where they go. Dante's Inferno, okay?